You know, when you look next door and you know that your neighbor is no longer with you, his son's no longer with you, what goes through your mind?
Sadness. Pure sadness. Sad.
Good evening. Neighbors overcome with emotion following an unthinkable tragedy. I'm Adrian Ghobrial outside of an apartment building on Gamble Avenue near Broadview and O'Connor. It was 7 p.m. last night when neighbors were jolted from their couches by the agonizing screams of a mother. They ran out into the hallway to come face to face with a scene no one should ever have to witness. A father and his 6-year-old son, both dead in an apparent murder-suicide. You walked in the unit?
Yeah.
What did you see?
Three of us, two of my neighbor and myself. You know, I saw Cico hung himself probably, and he had a note right here.
The husband? Her ex-husband?
Ex-husband, yes. And he had a note and about the child.
The scene you walked into, I can only imagine what that would have been like.
Like a war. Upside down things, toys, stuff. So I told my neighbors because I right away noticed that they're not alive.
The deceased father is this man, 58-year-old Zlatan Ciso, who was found dead inside the apartment after apparently hanging himself. His 6-year-old son Simon was also found dead inside. Forensics are on scene, as well as 2 constables standing guard outside the apartment door, which is now sealed with police tape.
With both of them being deceased, and there was enough evidence for the homicide investigators to know that there isn't someone else that they're looking for, and to know that this was in fact a homicide for the little boy. There was trauma to the body of the little boy, unfortunately, and so there is a post-mortem today which will help us to determine exactly what the cause of death was.
Pierce Volcic says when he came out of his apartment last night, he found the mother of the young boy was on the ground, hyperventilating, unable to go inside the unit.
She was sitting right here on the floor, yelling, hoping that child is not inside.
Looking onto his neighbor's balcony at a near loss for words, Volcic says he first met Zlatan Ciso, who immigrated to Toronto from Sarajevo more than a decade ago when he first moved into the building. Volcic says his neighbor had separated from his wife about 5 years ago because of an alleged dispute over finances, though he never saw something like this coming from a man he claims was a caring father and a good man.
I'll blame myself for the rest of my life that I didn't notice that he's suicidal. Otherwise I wouldn't allow this to happen, and it would never happen. Nobody noticed, not even my children, you know. It's like he was, you know, down from time to time. He was sad, like same like the rest of us, you know. He had good and bad days, but never suicidal. You know, it's like never mentioned anything. He was never looking like he's gonna do something horrible like this.
We're told the deceased father had lived in the building for at least 11 years and that he had regular scheduled visits with his son every week, every other weekend. We're also told by neighbors that he worked in electronics and was a handyman able to fix just about anything. As for the young boy's mother, she had to be wheeled out of the doors right behind me here on Gamble Avenue by EMS last night in an apparent state of shock.